Hi, my name's Cat Hepburn and I've written the book Girlhood. The book is a piece of fiction, but a lot of it is based on either my own stories or stories of friends, so it's kind of semi-autobiographical, but it's definitely inspired by just being a young woman in contemporary Scotland and all the different kind of stages of growing up as a young girl. My book is aimed at young women, really. I would love for teenagers to get their hands on a copy, and also I guess people my age, so between like teenagers to 40, let's say, because there's something in it that hopefully relates to all the different stages of, girlhood into womanhood. So hopefully there's pieces that relate to kind of all of the ages. I sort of wish this was the kind of book that I read when I was growing up. Obviously I grew up in an age where the internet was just kind of kicking off. I know I'm making myself sound pure old, but yeah, it would have been really helpful to have a book that kind of just talked about being a young woman and growing up and a lot of the things that we're sort of made to feel shameful about. I've always been a writer since I was a tiny wee girl. It runs in my family, so yeah, I've just always written little stories and then got into poetry about 3 years ago. But yeah, I have experience in kind of storylining for TV and writing stuff for stage. So it wasn't a massive jump to go from that to poetry. But I also think that my poetry is not very traditional. It's not like the kind of text you would study at like high school or anything. So I think it's quite easy access poetry. Storytelling is the kind of lifeblood of everything that I do. It informs all of the different jobs that I do, and yeah, I just think storytelling is such an amazing thing. I started writing poetry after meeting a friend from uni, Kevin P. Gilday, who I now run Sonnet Youth with. So after I met Kevin and saw him perform, I thought I would give it a go, and then I started just writing loads of different poetry, and then we started a night together, and now we've got a monthly night, Sonnet Youth, so yeah, it just kind of grew from there. I'm used to just performing my poems out loud. A few of them have been published before, but this is the first time that a lot of them have been compiled together in a collection. So what was really useful for me was having illustrations from Jenny Booth that I feel kind of illustrated the points that I was trying to make in a kind of unique way that a lot of the illustrations she sent me, I wouldn't have thought of doing that, but the ideas that she sent just totally elevated the piece. So I'm really, really pleased with seeing the kind of words written down and the collaboration between the words and the art as well. The driving force behind the whole book was the poem Monster, which is put into 3 different segments within the book. So I built the rest of the narrative around that, and it sort of flips between first person and third person narrative, but in my head I had a main character, and the main character is the person that everything happens to throughout the book. So yeah, I built it around quite a serious, difficult topic, but within that there's lots of shade and light and dark, experiences that are funny and sad, and yeah, so it's hopefully got a bit of texture to it. Humour is very important in my writing, especially when you have such a dark piece like Monster. Yeah, I think it just happens naturally. I'm just really funny. I jump between different styles of narrative within the book, so there's poetry in there's a kind of script that is meant to be performed as a sort of rap battle between a mother and daughter, and then there's kind of straight poetry, and I don't have any deep reason for doing them that way. The story that I wanted to tell in each individual bit, I chose the style that would work best for that piece, if that makes sense. Girlhood is out now, and the launch is on the 20th of November at In Deep. Available to buy at speculativebooks.net.